Hey warrior, yes you, the one who smiles in the daylight but fights silent battles at night. The one facing demons no one else can see. You've been strong for so long that now your own mind feels like the enemy. There are two wars in life, one with the world and one within your own head, and the one inside is the most dangerous. Because while outside situations may hurt you, it's your thoughts that keep the pain alive. You can sit in a quiet room with no threats, no chaos, no enemies, and still feel fear, regret, anger, and shame. Why? Because the real battlefield is in your mind. You've had days where everything looks fine on the outside, yet your thoughts won't stop attacking you. One negative idea appears and spreads like poison. I'm not good enough. I ruin everything. They don't really care about me. They begin small, but if you don't take control, they grow and slowly shape your identity. This is where Stoicism becomes your weapon. Ancient Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca lived through war, slavery, exile, and betrayal. Yet they discovered something most people today never understand. You cannot control the world, but you can always control your response to it. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, you have power over your mind. Not outside events realize this, and you will find strength. Let that sink in. You don't need to be rich, perfect, or in control of everything. You only need to learn how to respond instead of react. You are not your negative thoughts. You are the observer of them, and if you are the observer, you choose how long they stay. This message isn't for someone looking for 5 minutes of motivation. It's for the warrior who is tired of living under the weight of their own mind, tired of the voice whispering, "You're not enough." In the next 7 chapters, we will expose the most brutal mental traps feeding your negative thinking and show how Stoic philosophy gives you the tools to break them. So don't just watch this, study it. If you want peace, clarity, and inner strength, don't skip ahead, because every section builds on the last. Before we begin, write this in the comments. I am stronger than my negative thoughts. Like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe if you are serious about growth. Now, let's eliminate negative thinking, one Stoic truth at a time. First, understand this. You are not your thoughts. It sounds strange because we've been conditioned to believe every thought defines us. But think about how many random, disturbing, or painful thoughts pass through your mind daily. If all of them were truly you, your identity would change every minute. Stoicism teaches that there are 2 parts to the mind: what happens and how you respond. Negative thoughts will appear. That's human, but what matters is your reaction. As Epictetus said, it is not events that disturb us, but our opinions about them. A painful thought like "I failed," "I'm unattractive," or "they left me" only becomes suffering when you accept it as truth. Otherwise, it's just noise. When dark clouds gather in the sky, you don't panic, you observe, prepare if needed, and move on. Treat your negative thoughts the same way. Notice them, detach, and let them pass. Most people turn a thought into an identity. I felt anxious, so I must be anxious. I doubted my relationship, so it must be over. But thoughts are not facts. They are suggestions, not commands. Think of your mind like a radio. Just because a song plays doesn't mean you have to dance to it. You can change the station. Write your disturbing thought down and question it like a judge. Is this completely true? What evidence do I have? Will this matter in 5 years? Often you'll see the thought felt heavy but had no real weight. Instead of saying, I'm a failure, say, I'm having the thought that I failed. Because that small shift creates space, and in that space you gain power. You are the sky. Thoughts are passing clouds. Second, stop fighting reality. Much of negative thinking comes from resisting what already is. You don't just suffer because something painful happened. You suffer because your mind insists it shouldn't have happened. A breakup, betrayal, or missed opportunity becomes torture when you replay it and argue with it. The Stoics taught that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional, and suffering begins when we resist reality. Epictetus advised not to demand events happen as you wish, but to wish them to happen as they do, and your life will flow better. This doesn't mean celebrating pain. It means accepting what cannot be undone and deciding your next move. If it happened now. What? Imagine standing in the rain. You can curse the sky or accept you're wet. Grab a coat and keep walking. Most negative thoughts come from wanting yesterday to be different. Why did they leave? Why did I say that? If only I had tried. But none of those thoughts change the past. They only keep it alive. The Stoics called it loving fate, embracing what is, even when it hurts. Because while the event isn't in your control, your response always is. If you fail an exam or your business collapses, a negative mind says, I'm worthless. A Stoic mind says, this is a moment, not my entire story. What can I learn? Don't fight the moment, use it. When your mind says, this shouldn't have happened, answer with, but it did, so now what? That question shifts you from victim to creator. Peace doesn't come from a perfect life. It comes from accepting reality and still moving forward. Third, don't trust your first emotion. Many people treat their first feeling as truth, but Stoicism teaches that the first reaction is not final wisdom. Anger, fear, jealousy, sadness, they are immediate responses, often loud and irrational. If you obey every first emotion, your life becomes chaos. Emotions are like waves. The first crash feels overwhelming, but it passes. If you pause, reflect, and observe, instead of reacting instantly, you gain control. When someone ignores your message, your first thought may be they don't care. But if you wait, you might learn they were busy or unwell. Acting on the first emotion can damage something valuable. When a strong feeling hits, pause and name it. I feel anger, but that doesn't mean I'm right. I feel fear, but that doesn't mean I'm in danger. I feel jealousy, but that doesn't mean I'm less. Emotions are signals, not orders. Step back mentally, zoom out, see your life from a distance, and that embarrassing moment or heated argument will seem smaller. Tell yourself, let me wait before I react, because that simple pause can protect your peace. Feeling emotions doesn't make you weak. Allowing them to control you does. Mastery comes from choosing your response. And finally, understand this. The stories you tell yourself create your suffering. It's rarely the event that breaks you, it's the narrative you attach to it. Rejection becomes "I'll always be alone." A mistake becomes "I'm incompetent." You confuse facts with interpretations, and that confusion feeds your pain. Change the story, and you change the meaning. Change the meaning, and you change your life. That's why Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Think about that carefully. It's not the rejection, the silence, the failure, or the delay that hurts the most. It's the meaning you attach to it. And most of those meanings are stories built from fear, insecurity, and old wounds. Your boss sends a short reply and you assume they dislike you. A friend doesn't invite you and you conclude you're not valued. You miss a result you wanted and suddenly you believe you'll never succeed. But what if none of that is true? One of the strongest weapons against negative thinking is separating facts from fiction. First, write the raw fact. My message wasn't answered for 2 days. Second, write the story your mind created. They don't care about me. They're avoiding me. Third, challenge that story. Do I know this for certain? Is there another explanation? Have I ever replied late for reasons that had nothing to do with the other person? Most of the time, this simple exercise exposes the illusion. Here's the Stoic mindset. Events happen, but they don't define you. You define their meaning. Your brain tells stories, but you are the editor, and a wise editor does not publish lies. The next time your thoughts spiral, pause, question, and rewrite. You are not the pain, you are the author holding the pen. Write this in the comments. I control the story. I choose peace over panic. Now let's move deeper. Your environment feeds your inner dialogue. Let's be honest, your surroundings shape your thinking. Negative minds are rarely born. They are built through toxic inputs. The people around you, the content you consume, the habits you repeat, all of it feeds your inner voice. If you live in noise, drama, and pessimism, your mind will mirror that chaos. Seneca warned, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. This wasn't only about friendships, it was about mental hygiene. If your mind is a garden, who are you allowing to plant seeds? Constant complainers train your brain to complain. Gossip trains your mind to judge. Toxic scrolling trains your mind to compare. A cluttered space amplifies stress. The Stoics valued simplicity and order because they understood that outer chaos creates inner turbulence. Here's a hard truth. You cannot eliminate negative thoughts while feeding them daily. Try an environment reset. Notice who drains you and who strengthens you. Examine what you watch. Does it inspire growth or fuel insecurity? Clean your space. Remove digital noise. Spend time with people who want progress. In just a week, your mind will feel quieter, not because thoughts disappear, but because you've stopped fueling the storm. Now hear this carefully. You're tired, not broken. Sometimes negative thinking isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of exhaustion. Not just physical exhaustion, but emotional and mental depletion. When you're drained, everything feels heavier. You misinterpret messages, overthink decisions, assume hostility where there is none. Your mind feels chaotic, not because you're weak, but because you're running on empty. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion. It's about managing energy wisely. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that distress comes from our judgment of events. But how can you adjust your judgment if you're sleep-deprived, overstimulated, and overwhelmed? Sometimes the solution is not deeper thinking, it's deeper rest. Lack of sleep, poor nutrition, no movement, constant noise. These amplify negativity. You don't need to fix your mind every time. Sometimes you need to calm your nervous system. Go to bed earlier. Take a walk without your phone. Say no to something that drains you. Write your worries down and step away. Exhaustion is not weakness. It's a signal. When you refill your energy, many negative thoughts fade, not because you fought them, but because you stopped starving yourself of recovery. Write this: I am not broken. I am restoring. Finally, understand this powerful truth. Gratitude destroys negativity at its root. Gratitude isn't naive optimism, it's disciplined perspective. Negative thinking narrows your vision until all you see is what's missing. Nothing works out. Everyone is ahead. Life is unfair, but gratitude forces your mind to notice what is still present. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Most negativity grows from a sense of lack. Gratitude reminds you of abundance. This doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means balancing your focus. In your lowest moments, ask yourself, what am I overlooking right now? What do I have today that I once prayed for? Who still stands beside me? Write one line. That's enough to begin shifting your perspective. Maybe your career feels uncertain, but you are healthy and learning. Maybe your relationship is strained, but you've gained strength and self. Gratitude is not pretending everything is fine. It is acknowledging pain while still recognizing blessings. Negative thinking thrives when you forget your resilience, your growth, your survival. So make gratitude a ritual. Every day, write 3 small things you appreciate: a breath, a meal, a memory, a lesson. Slowly, the heaviness loosens. Gratitude anchors you so you don't drown in temporary storms. If you've stayed until this point, understand something important. Awareness is already transforming you. Stoicism was never about eliminating negative thoughts completely. It was about practicing mastery daily. You've learned you are not your thoughts. You are the observer. You don't have to fight reality. You can accept and move forward. Your first emotion isn't always truth. You can pause and choose. The stories in your mind can be rewritten. Your environment influences your thinking, so protect it. Tired does not mean broken. Rest restores clarity. And gratitude is armor against despair. Marcus Aurelius endured pressures and losses few could imagine, yet he trained his mind daily towards steadiness and peace. Do the same, quietly, consistently. You don't need applause. You need discipline. Keep showing up for your mind and your life will shift. And remember this, you are doing better than you think. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are becoming aware. And from awareness, change begins. This is how negative thinking dies, not through force, but through daily clarity, calm, strength, and stoic discipline. If this helped you, like the video so others can find it. Comment the point that hits you hardest. Share it with someone who needs peace. Subscribe as we build a stronger mind together. And write this final affirmation. My mind is my strongest weapon.